pure divine being. Calm, present, powerful, productive. What keeps you from feeling and acting accordingly? My name is Carmen Jübner. I help you to rewire your brain drawing Neurographica. Neurographica is a structured drawing method which enables us to rewire our brains, to draw maps for our mind, to focus on where we want to go from now. So, what keeps us from feeling and acting according to the pure divine being that we are? What keeps us from feeling calm, present, creative, productive, and powerful? It is the story which we are telling ourselves. A story that has been created sometime in our childhood, most probably. A story through which we are looking at the world. And since we are repeating the same story to ourselves every day and every, most probably, moment of our day, this story is very present in our thinking and acting, and it influences us from deep out of our subconsciousness. And mostly we are not even aware of what story are we telling us. And today I intend in this Neurographica tutorial to draw our story and also our present and divine being. Neurographica is sustainable, so the changes we create, the maps that we create for our brains, create a sustainable result, and it's powerful and solution-oriented. So we always draw a request in Neurographica. So in this case, we draw our story. We make our story aware to ourselves, and we make the stories visible on the paper. This is already the first step for transformation. Become aware and make it visible, and let it be visible. Let it come out of the box, out of the dark, out of the hidden, where it is like pulling all our strings like from the unknown. So that's the first step in the drawing. We make it visible, and then we'll see what we do with it. So we can either let it be seen, we can also dissolve it in the field, and we can see what appears then, when our story is not what is directing us anymore. So in my opinion, this is a very interesting drawing, and you're invited to draw with me. You don't need any artistic skills. The only thing you need is courage to take action in your life. Be brave to face your story, become aware of it, and to rearrange your neural system by drawing a map for your future being. All right, so let's do it. You need a marker and like a marker and a paper and some colors. Can be pencils, can be highlighters, can be both, whatever you have. So let's be brave and start drawing. The first thing we do in every Neurographica drawing, since we work on a request, is we write down the topic. So I take the back side of my paper and write down my story. My story that keeps me from living my divine state, my divine being. My story that keeps me from being calm, present, kind, creative, all that. So now we do that by not thinking. We write down my story, we connect to our subconsciousness, and start writing down all associations on that topic in 2 minutes, starting now. My story. I am going to read my associations to you as an example. What comes up? My subconscious tells me. Our associations on our stories help us to create the drawing. I'm going to read some of my associations. Fear, limit, orientation, familiar, security, not able, small, hide, small, unable to act, hide, 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 invisible, do not trust anyone, trust yourself, trust divine only, helpless, overwhelmed, small, too small, helpless, overwhelmed child, not protected, protect myself. So I'm sure that you also found associations on your story. Maybe you are aware of it or not. I have been thinking of my story like a long time already, and I had become aware of that story, what I call the I am not able story. And that's actually reflected here in my words as well. So if I perceive myself as overwhelmed of not being able to take action in my life, of having to protect myself, of having to hide myself, and this is the story which is like present and like ruling me from my subconsciousness, then I'm likely to take only small steps, little action or no action, and until I become aware of that, it is ruling me. So there are other stories you can have. For example, the story, the world is dangerous. Or yeah, anyway, I cannot think of many other stories at the moment because my story is very present, the I'm not able story, what also results in the I'm not worth. Maybe that's another story, or maybe that's part of that story, I'm not worth story. And all these stories keep us from feeling and acting as the pure divine being we are. So, and now we'll like take the paper and start making our story visible. But since the story is not the main player in our drawing, we draw our divine state, our pure divine state, our essence, our calm and present being as a circle in the middle of our paper as our first shape. You draw a circle any size you feel it in the middle of your paper. And then you go over the circle by drawing neural lines that are lines that don't repeat themselves, that flow organically and help you to connect with your state of pure divine being. We go over a circle a few times. Feel into that. What I feel is I feel excitement. I feel my heart is beating quite fast at the moment, like our body is listening to us all our lives. So, and now if I dare to make my state visible of my pure divine being, my heart is a little bit, my heart is reflecting that this is exciting. It's something new, it's something maybe scary. And we can also go into the other direction and feel into that state. Can be, the circle can be smaller or bigger, whatever you feel right. So this is our core. And what we are doing now is we think of our story. We can look at our story again. And we draw some irregular line around our state, that represents our story. So our story is around our state of being, pure divine being. And as you see, that looks a little bit different than the circle. The circle is calm and present, whole, everything is in there. But this shape, like the story, what pretends to be the reality for us, looks, at least in my case, quite uncomfortable. I feel it's like the opposite of calm. It is kind of moving in an uncomfortable way in all directions, but in no direction at the same time, and kind of pulling here and pulling there. It looks and feels uncomfortable. So how does your story look and feel to you? There on the paper, the shape of your story. What does it do with you? Feel into your body. Is there any part of your body where you can feel this story is active, is maybe stored? Is there anything you feel? Like I feel it here in my liver, and I want to give some attention into my liver and hold it and tell it, it is okay. It's okay. I make that story visible here. I take it out of the box. What I do now is I check my words and I pick one word. Like, for example, I want to take not able. I want to create a triangle for that state that pretends and tells me that I'm not able. And I choose one of these pokes here and put a triangle there for I'm not able. And it's kind of dynamic. A triangle is always dynamic. And I want to make my story visible of this is where I tell myself again and again that I am not able. So I put that triangle here, which feels quite aggressive. And at the same time, I feel my liver again. Because it's not true that I am not able, but that's part of my story that I am farewelling at the moment. Hide. I need to hide. I put another one for I need to hide. And I'm neurographing that. I need to hide. So and I mark what, like I have hide. I put a, and I put not able. Now I want to put do not trust anyone. A lot of uncomfortable topics. So I put a triangle for do not trust anyone. My paper is not even big enough to show like my emotions connected to that. Do not trust anyone. So I invite you to also pick your parts of your story you became aware of and make it visible. So now I'll take helpless. helpless. I felt helpless for a long time, and whenever, until it is completely like transformed, it will come up in different circumstances. So that's why I want to make that visible as well. Helpless. Is that true? Am I really helpless? Helpless. Too small. I am too small. Too small to do anything. Too small to act. Too small to take action in my life. And I take the second one for overwhelmed. I've been acting as an overwhelmed adult most of my life. I had this identity of I am an overwhelmed mother of 2 children for a long time. So overwhelmed. Part of that story. Helpless. Hide. I think I'll put hide. Oh no, I did have hide already. Small, unable, not protected. I want to put not protected. Not protected. Already a lot. Not protected. Unable to act. Yeah, I put unable to act and invisible. Unable to act. Invisible. So that seems to be enough for me. That's my composition. I will name my triangles to really look at them. Not able to act. Invisible. Hide. Overwhelmed. What was that one? Let me see what else. Helpless, too small. That was too small. Helpless. What else? Unable to act. Not protected. Not too small. Helpless, invisible. So what else did I have? 2 more. Did I have hide here? Yes, hide. Overwhelmed, not protected. I have do not trust anyone. Do not trust anyone. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what is my last one? Not protected, helpless, do not trust, invisible, unable to act. Not able. Not only not able to act, but not able in general. Not able. So, and I want to put some words in my circle as well, which is calm, present, kind, creative. Calm, present, kind, creative. I mean, we can go on with that, but just as a reminder. So this is the state, my true being. These are parts of my story that I have been telling myself for a long time. Whew. What I see looking at my drawing is that there's a lot of action, a lot of moving energy and dynamic, and it is away from being calm, present, kind, creative, productive, and also from that state of now. Yeah, I can also see like the main story here still. And what I want to do now is I want to make peace with my story that had been with me for a long time. And I go over my drawing. I draw neural lines and I work on creating intersections, smooth intersections wherever my lines are meeting. So here my story meets this triangle, and here it meets another triangle, and I have intersections, and I work on combining those. You can think of rivers flowing into each other, or roads meeting each other, and to have smooth transitions we work nicely on the intersections. In this step we make peace with our story. We have been, like in my case, I have been playing that story in my head in my life, the I am not able story, which led me to make myself invisible, which made me feel unable, which made me feel helpless, and which kept me from living my inner strength, my reality, my true reality. And the idea or the purpose of that story in my childhood was to create safety, in an unsafe environment, to protect myself, and to prevent myself from as much damage as possible. So that's what our stories are here for. So we can be grateful for them. Thank you that we can thank them that they protected us, they helped us, they supported us for a long time in our lives. And then at some time in our life, we arrive at the point where we realize that the old story from our childhood might not be serving its purpose anymore. We have arrived at a point in our life where we can say goodbye to this friend, to this familiar story that is kind of a friend to ourselves because we know it so well, and it led us through all our experiences in life. So it's sometimes hard to let it go as well. And of course we don't have to let it go. But sometimes if we want to do something, like act in a different way, if we might not feel satisfied anymore by feeling invisible, small, too small, overwhelmed, incapable, and all that, if that point comes in our lives that we kind of feel that this does not serve our purpose anymore, since we have reached maybe the age of 50 in my case, and now we don't want to hide anymore, we don't want to feel small and overwhelmed and invisible, and we want to stop trusting, we want to stop not trusting in anyone. So then we can grab our marker and make our story visible to ourselves. And as usual, when we draw Neurographica, we make ourselves aware of our body reactions, because our story is engraved in our body, because we have been repeating that story over and over again, and our body listened to it all the time. So our body is quite familiar with that idea of you cannot trust anyone. So now I have this here, and it's kind of, I doubt kind of, is that true? Is it true that I cannot trust anyone? It's not safe to trust anyone. And of course my body wants to protect me, because it has heard that so much, and it wants to stay in the familiar patterns. And our mind will produce warning systems. Maybe you get some pain at some part in your body that is containing your information about your story. And you might want to look at that and acknowledge and thank your body for the warning. And then you can check, do you want to stick to the old pattern or not? You decide. Your body is just reacting according to the familiar and until then stored information. So it can happen that you, for example, decide you take a new move in your life and you really want to apply all you have learned for the last 3 years or whatever. That was a story of my friend told me yesterday. She said, I have decided to finally take action in my life. I made a plan for the upcoming months, how I want to act, what I want to do, and how I move forward. And guess what happened? She told me, the next morning I wake up and literally I cannot move my legs. They are paining so much. The legs are not yet used to this new idea of we will be moving now into an unfamiliar direction. So what to do? Be kind to your legs, be kind to your body reactions, because they are not yet familiar to the new ideas. So that what, because this Neurographica method is very powerful, creates lasting, sustainable results, and it also wakens these body memories. So whatever comes up in your body is valuable and part of the process. Can be headaches, can be fears, maybe can be the desire to run away. And of course you can do that. And you can also check what is it that I can do to comfort myself, to become acquainted to the unknown. Do I want to take a break? Do I want to go for a walk? Do I need to drink some water? Do I want to journal about my upcoming processes, like whatever, like if lots is coming like to the surface, you might want to journal about your story, for example. So there's no need to force yourself to move on drawing, for example, your states if you need to process first. So take your time, all the steps. There's no hurry to finish the drawing. It is good, of course, to finish the drawing, but it's no pressure needed to finish it quickly. You can take your time. You can have a break, lay down, breathe, observe your thoughts. This looking at your story is high level, and even drawing your story another level, high level awareness you are creating. So you can expect high level of resistance as well. So don't worry about that. So I created my connections. It looks now more part of everything, and it looks more like it is supposed to be like that. It feels better, but not very good yet. And what I want to do now is I want to create more integration with the field. Like I use lines starting from my inner source, and I'm using neural lines that flow into unexpected directions. They don't go straight, and they don't go like, they don't repeat themselves. So I draw neural lines where I feel I want to connect something. I don't connect it in a straight way. I connect it with these lines that are visible to my brain. And I let it flow also outside of my shapes. So I'm taking the field into account, connecting my present states or my past states with neural lines that I create carefully and slowly. And everywhere where these lines are meeting other lines, I need to do my rounding smooth intersections. So remember that you're drawing a map for your mind, a new map to reorientate on. So what happens here? Do not trust anyone. I'm going from here and I connect it to the outside world. trusting now, trusting the field, trusting everything around me, which is a new imprint. Wow, I can trust. Look at that. This is how it feels. Immediately I put these lines, connect that, and have this impression, you know what? I can trust. And I want to trust. That's what comes up. And what I do now, because this comes up for me, I draw a circle, or in my case, a part of a circle. That feels good, because that is now what came up for me. I trust, I want and can trust people. Look at that. That feels good. Trusting people. For me, it was always clear that I can trust the divine, can trust universal love and wisdom. That was clear for me. But what was never clear was, can trust people. But here, that's what I like. Feels great, and it feels like I want to make that very, very visible to myself. And I'm going to do that now by taking my highlighters. Here I have highlighters, and I pick a color what resonates with my trust to people. And I do that right away. I make my transformed story visible here. And I am coloring this shape of trust. So in case that has happened to you as well, while drawing connections from one of your triangles, and you get a transformed meaning, I invite you to draw a circle as well, which represents your meaning. So you are welcome to share your experience in the comments. How, if your state, part of your story somehow changes, what is it and how does it change? So I'm happy about that. This is trust. I will name it as well. Trust. Great. I love that. And my trust and my shape here of invisibility. I connect the next triangle here, which is invisibility. And I'm letting a line flow through my trust here. Working on my intersections by rounding, making them beautifully flow into each other, that my neural connections are smooth, because all of these lines we draw are directly creating neural pathways. Interesting enough. So it's flowing up here. Invisibility. Trust. So you can work on any part of your drawing you feel attracted to. So if you are working on this part of your drawing, that's fine, of course. You can connect your shapes to the background and see what happens. Invisibility. Creating one nice system here. See, there's something poking out. I create a line here and I integrate it. And I'm going, especially these pokey parts, I'm including into my drawing. Now I'm having my hide triangle. Need to hide from the world, from everyone. And then connecting it nicely. The whole time I perceive like my heart is beating quite fast, faster than it usually does. Feels like letting go of something. Also my liver is like expressing something, kind of pressure I perceive there. My liver needs to transform all the poisonous ideas that I have been feeding myself with. See, there are lots of lines here, and I want to do the connections. So be aware of the connections being your means to create your transformation and your desired reality. Like my desired reality is to become aware of my story, to let it pass out of my system, because I don't want to live it anymore. I don't want to live my I am not able story anymore. So I guess that you can only be drawing this drawing and this topic and your story if you're willing to let it go. If you kind of feel that the story is still part of your life and should be, then you might not be happy drawing it, most probably. And of course, if you feel overwhelmed drawing it by yourself, please check out my guided healing offers and also my light drawing offer. So if you want personal assistance while drawing, what I actually also recommend, especially if you're drawing difficult topics that are hard to face by yourself, please check out my offers in my bio. It depends on what you need at the moment. Maybe you feel comfortable with that because it's just the right practice for you now. And then, of course, you can also do it by yourself. That's why I'm doing that drawings, these tutorials for you, to give you that opportunity to use these powerful tools to literally draw yourself free from limitations you had stored in your belief system and in your whole system and in your minds and everywhere, and to rearrange them in a way you want it. You can see there's a lot going on in my drawing. This is hide, this is invisible, and it makes sense to have a shape for visibility at some point, but I feel I'm not ready for that at this moment. I have trust. Visibility might come here, ability to act. I can tell you that I am going to take a break now. I acknowledge that I'm doing hard work, and I invite you to also acknowledge that, working on your states. So let's take a beautiful break. Keep on working on your connections and find, like, if you have transformed states coming up after that. So see you soon. Yes, now I'm ready to move on. Can you see or not? I keep on adding lines and connecting my shapes to each other. And by doing that, I'm gaining energy stored in my story and use it for something I want to be in my life. For example, I want to trust. And now, and I don't want to do everything by myself because I don't trust in anyone. And now I have this shape here telling my mind that, okay, trust in people is an option. And this don't have trust is kind of the vehicle, or has been the vehicle, allowing me to develop trust now. And this hiding and invisibility, I want to give a transformed shape for both of them, which is a circle as well, standing for it's safe to be visible. And the meaning of that circle comes to my mind naturally. It is safe to be visible. This transformed meaning is possible through all the new connections I created here. So I created this new shape by adding all the energies up until this point where I can feel, perceive, and also create this new shape. Making myself visible is safe. So I will write that here. It's safe to be visible. And I work on creating my intersections of that circle and make this a single system with all the lines I have already created. If I don't do that, the new shape will not be integrated in my neural system, in my neural network. So make sure you work on your intersections carefully and feel into your body. How that feels, the whole drawing. I want to have colors as well here for my it is safe to be visible. I'm deciding on a color. I'll take some green color here. It's safe to feel visible. And I make it visible right away. The transformed vessel here. Energy had been stored in two triangles, transformed now to this shape of my circle. It is safe for me to be visible. This feels comfortable and it reminds me of moss in the forest and of green tea as well. Comfortable, comforting, like a blanket around me. I'm safe to be visible. Feels good. That feels good. Overwhelmed, too small, helpless. Woohoo. No idea to what that will transform. Oh yeah, I have an idea into what it could transform. Let's see. Adding more lines helps to feel into these energies which are stored in the shapes. Overwhelmed, too small. I know into what it will transform. Overwhelmed, too small, helpless will become, you can already see it, a big shape. So if I put only part of this circle here, then it is clear for my mind that it's going on. It is a whole circle and it's only a part of it on my map, but the whole drawing is only a small part of the whole map. So, and this is, I am able. I'm not able is even here. I'm not able and not protected. That is even over there still, but I'm too small, I'm helpless, and I am overwhelmed. All these energies transform and give my mind a new direction. I am able. Connect these again. I am able. All the new lines. let me know if you have questions about your drawings. You can write to me, drawyourselffree@gmail.com. Yes, and I will guide you as good as I can with your questions. You can obviously also leave a comment and ask your questions there. I am able, needs to be blue in my perception. Let's see my blue colors. Oh yeah, I will take, oh no, is that a good blue color? Oh yeah, it is. I am able. I want all the transformation to be really visible here. And don't worry about your circle in the middle. We'll do something nice in a minute. As soon as we reach to that point. We are adding up the energies stored in our story at the moment. And coloring that, it gives me a wide open feeling in my chest. Feel creative, productive, joyful. I feel right, connected, and after all, able to do whatever is my task at the moment. So we will obviously also work on our true self shape. That will be our last step today. To integrate all these energies to our mind, that we are pure divine beings. To anchor that, we're going around our story, transforming the energies where they want and can be transformed, and see how we get along with that. If you don't feel comfortable like transforming your states and you need to see them more, you can also decide to let your triangles be visible and let it let your story be visible. You can also do that and color accordingly. Like if you feel like you want to see that you have already always made yourself invisible, for example, you can also make that color like the triangle and make it visible, because this energy of expansion is there with the triangles as well, moving energy. So you don't need necessarily to have the new shapes, but I feel I need, and I apply them. I really want to see transformed states here and create a new map in this direction. But also like having your states visible, still your story visible, having drawn a connected single system will give your system new imprints. So there are many ways of finding your own solutions in your drawings. Every path is unique. Your path is unique, and you decide in your life, you decide in your drawing what you do. You don't have to follow exactly what I do, because this is my process at this moment, and I can obviously only show my process as an example, and you need to see how it goes for you. What is a general rule is the more lines you add, the more connections you add, the more neural connections you create for your brain, the smoother the transitions will be. And maybe also more unexpected things will be appearing in your life after the drawing. So I work on creating connections. Also, I have 3 more triangles here, not able. And I already have replaced that here, because the whole story is actually the I'm not able story. I feel it is safe to be visible now. I trust I'm able. And now I see what is coming up for my other shapes. It's again not able to act. So it's a variety of these unable feelings that are visible here. And I let them be there. I acknowledge they served me for some time. And I observe my states while drawing it. My heart has calmed down a little. What I perceive now in my body is some pressure behind my forehead and some little pressure in my heart area. It's a little bit as if I have not enough air, so I might also use the breath. Take some conscious breath, deep breath. Not protected. Yeah, I even feel a little bit sad while I'm doing that, and I'm having some sad thoughts. At the moment, and everything that comes up is part of the process, so not protected. Drawing Neurographica is a journey inside towards your own wisdom and your own complete healthy state. So not protected. So what can I do here? I'm able to act. So this is now I'm able to act. Something is my... Let's take another pen. I'm able to act. Able to act. Connect that as well. Oh yes, after these drawings you can expect to be nice to yourself for some, at least for that day, and for some more days to be careful. Let your brain adjust to the changes. It can be overwhelming. It can be that you will have a lot of dreams after that. Deep dreams, surprising dreams. Some unrest at night. It needs to readjust. Your mind needs to readjust, and your whole system. The deeper you go in your topics, and the deeper to the roots you come, the more intense your experiences will be. So you can be happy if you experience some new states. So, ability to act. Maybe some orange. I'm able to act. This is the direct opposite of I'm not able to act, is I am able to act. Yes, I feel some warmth in my body while I'm doing that. I am able, in general, I am able to act. And I want to put a shape for I am worth. That is also what's coming into my mind. I am worth. So I am not protected is turning to I am worth and protected. I am worth and protected. So all these transformed states come directly from my intuition. So it's appearing there, and you can listen to your intuition. What comes up for you? What changes are you able and willing to create now in your drawing? I am worth and protected. I am worth and protected. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I created 5 new shapes. And I don't always have to actively remember what it was, but today I want to have these transformed states written here. And that's why I put them there. So it's not needed to do that if you don't feel like. You can write it on the back of the paper, what I usually do, or on some other paper. You can write your states, your transformed states, like name them. It doesn't have to be exactly on that paper. But it can be, as you see. So I am worth and protected. What color might that get? Is that the same color here? No, is that the same color? No. Worth and protected. Looks like the same color. I don't want the same color here. Found a color for that shape. Worth and protected. I am worth and protected. You're most welcome to share your drawings in my Facebook group, Draw Yourself Free, using Neurographica as a tool. Would be nice to see your drawings. For everyone who's doing the drawing and also for me. You can also send me your drawings if you want some feedback. Nice. I'm worth and protected. Wow. So what I do now I have gained a lot of energy. I have created new shapes and I have transformed meanings. What I want to do now is I take a thin marker and I like feel into all these energies I created, and what I do is I lead this here to my shape of my true being and activate that shape with a lot of lines. I activate that shape. I take all the transformed energy. I can go here. It's always connected. My trust is not yet connected, but I can also gain my trust energy here and lead it here. Can go at some point here, lead it inside and activate my true divine being, my calm present state, my intuition, creativity, productivity, kindness to myself and others. And I do that as long as it feels necessary. But all the energy there. Take it from here and make it visible that it comes from here. I'll make more lines. Lead it to my center. Transformation of my story leads the energy to my true calm being, present now. Feel into that. Take the lines from everywhere in my transformed shapes. This is kind of giving the fuel for our state here. Leading the energy here. Able to act. Trusting. Visible. Yes. What I want to do now is I want to create some rays. I am visible. So this is my new being. To make it more visible, my new state. It's safe to be visible, and I create kind of a sun out of my circle, and the sun that is shining my visibility. And I also do that with my trust. I want to create suns that are making the state even more attractive to myself. Looking at it, you're invited to do the same. I am able, yes, let's shine that as well. Able, I am able. I'm creating flames. And I want more flames, for I'm worth and protected. Worth and protected. Feel warmth in my chest. And some kind of satisfaction. I am able to act. More flames. So I hope you also feel satisfied with your drawing. Little flares. And feel the urge to make the flames visible as well. And to busy myself with that state, it is safe to be visible. And I put some flames here. Worth and protected. Look at that, beautiful. Able to act. Trust. Trust can be bigger as well. I want some trust flowing here. More trust in the field. I add some trust here. Yeah, that feels good. Okay. Trust. What a drawing. Yeah. Putting some field lines now. Field lines, invite the divine into our drawing and flow from one side of the drawing to the other. And they are visible, most visible, like streams in our drawing. Nope. Let's see what is working here. They're all a little bit weak. And I have another one here somewhere. And this will be lit here. And I want to connect that as well. I connect all my new states. Ah, that's nice. They all flow from here outside and also nourish. Nice. lines are also being integrated in the whole drawing wherever they meet other lines. So you can color your shape in the middle as you feel the color. I'm not sure whether I want to do it or whether I want to choose white as a color, as a symbol for the unknown as well. I might have that. I might also choose a color. I haven't decided yet. Wow, what a drawing! I realized that this drawing, this farewelling of my old story that I have been living with for many decades, has been a march through a gate. Like, I have really like the impression that this is the last step I did after a series of steps in which I already like worked on parts of this story, like on being able, on making myself visible, on my relationships, on feeling more comfortable with people and also starting to trust them. So I had done already a lot of work with that, but I wasn't aware of how impactful this drawing is going to be. I had followed an intuition to do this drawing and to make my story visible and also to share it with you, to give you the opportunity to make your own stories visible. And now I am curious if you also experienced that drawing to be like the last drop, literally, to really let go of your story. So I would be happy to get some feedback from you in the comments, or also in an email, like you can write to me, drawyourselffree@gmail.com, and share your experiences if you like. Yes, and I also want to show you what I did with my drawing after some break, because I couldn't do everything in one go. So what I did is I added field lines, these lines that are like most visible and run through the whole drawing. They invite divine wisdom into our drawing. I also colored like the rays of my suns, and I applied shading in my new shapes to make them more visible, more beautiful, more attractive to myself. I also applied shading in the shape of me being pure divine being, and I decided that shape to be my affixing shape and made the outlines the thickest and most visible. Yes, so unexpectedly I walked through my own gate of development, and I feel that like there is all my story behind me, and there's something in front of me what I'm not yet aware of because it's completely new. Because if I have like let go of my story, then something new is appearing, and I'm looking forward to that. I keep you informed, and yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for drawing with me. And I hope to see you in one of my workshops live. You can check out my workshops shop offers in my bio. And yeah, please start commenting as well how you like drawing and how do you like draw spirituality into your life, how you draw your own growth, because that's what it's all about. Drawing our own growth, drawing our connections, drawing our true states, our divine states, accessing the energies, and live more and more our full potentials. See you in my next video. Bye bye.